Welcome to Ty and Rye, the Finance Guys Market Mini Report, a short podcast that updates you on the past week's important topics and trends. Remember, this is not an offer to sell, and past performance does not guarantee future returns. Here are Ty Hansen and Ryan Robertson.
Hello and welcome to a Market Mini for the week ending January 7th. We are officially through the first week of 2022, and let's just say we're not off to a very good start to get things rolling in the markets. Basically, the market's down about just under 2%. The S&P 500 is. Nasdaq's really where it's taking the biggest hit. We're down around 4%. So Nasdaq's really what's taking the beating this last week. It's really there's a lot of discussion going on right now. Reading a lot of debates and things like that back and forth right now about value versus growth, right? And the idea is that growth obviously is going to generate a little bit more bang for your buck when markets are strong and when they're doing well. A little bit more speculation. Whereas, value is kind of just that steady eddy. It's not as sexy. It doesn't have quite the growth as growth stocks. But obviously, what we're really seeing right now is some concerns about inflation, and the markets are a little bit iffy right now with what's going on. So the other thing too is pretty interesting. We saw some really strong job creation data this last week. But we're also seeing some information come out about the number of people quitting their jobs. So again, it's interesting. Well, on the one hand, we've got some decent growth and job growth in the economy. It's interesting that we're seeing people quit their jobs in droves. So we've talked a little bit about this before, but it's just an interesting thing that's going on in the markets right now. So. The other thing too, the reason we're seeing a big sell-off in the market right now is, one of the reasons is so we're seeing some of the treasury rates start to climb up, right? We know that's going to happen. We know that the Fed is going to reduce their buybacks, and taperings basically being or quantitative easing, the buying of those government securities that the Fed's doing, they're going to slow that down. They're going to stop doing as much of that, essentially, and let interest rates start to rise back up. And so we saw the 10-year Treasury. That's there's different parts you can look at to kind of measure where rates are going and things like that. But yeah, this last week we saw the 10-year take a pop. Pretty good pop. We're back up into that 1.7% range, and that's pretty high. That's the highest it's been in quite a while. So again, it's one of those things. It's like it's no shocker. We know the Fed's talked about this happening. We know that we're going to see some rate hikes here in 2022. Nonetheless, it's not a fun pill for the market to swallow. So that's really what we're seeing kind of stir this little bit of a sell-off, and where that fear and concern comes from is primarily, in my opinion, is that inflationary risk. So anyways, that's definitely the kind of the big story right now is watching, the market react to inflation. But, again, we're still seeing, pretty strong data as far as, job creation, things like that. So we're still seeing some strength in the market, still seeing the economy, move forward. And so, anyways, that's really what's been the biggest story this week is watching what the inflationary scare is doing to the markets. So, all right. Well, as always, we appreciate the listen. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes to get a recap of what's going on in the market. Again, feel free to check us out, tyandrye.com. And feel free to reach out to us anytime. We're happy to answer questions and maybe steer our podcast in a direction that deals with some of the questions you guys have out there. So thanks again. Hope you have a great weekend, and we will talk to you guys next week. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Ty and Rye, the Finance Guys. This is our weekly Market Mini Report. New episodes of this will be put out every Monday, so make sure you don't miss those. Also, the longer podcasts, more in-depth discussions, Those will drop every Saturday. So subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Ty and Rye Podcast. That way you don't miss any new episodes. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hope you have a great week.